Trainer Steve here with the Code Red Circuit. If you like these videos, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe so you can stay up to date with current and new exercises that I load, and feel free please to share this with your friends. Everybody's stuck home, everybody's looking for exercise. This is here. It's free. Use it. Share it. Anyway, it's the Code Red Circuit. We used this in one of the Zoom workouts the other day. We set it on a timer. I think we were doing 45 seconds of work, something like that, with maybe 8-second transitions. And that's nice in a group setting, but it can also be done for reps. And the reps can be whatever works for you. Some of the exercises, there's a low plank in here that does need to be timed, but you can just count it out until you fall on your face. That's all good. Rep ranges would be anywhere from a minimum of about 8 reps per exercise up to maybe 20, 21, something like that. You know me and my Fibonacci numbers, 8, 13, 21. We're going to start with the dead bug. If you know me, you hate this exercise. If you don't know me, you'll learn to hate this exercise. With the dead bug, legs are ideally straight. They can be bent, and you would still lower to the floor the same way. But regardless of where your legs are, you want your tailbone to be pulled up off the floor best as possible. Arms are straight above your shoulders. This is an alternating opposite exercise. So my left leg and my right arm are going to reach for the floor. And I'm going to try and touch my left calf to the floor before my heel. So I'm pulling my toes back hard, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the glutes. My right hand is going to reach all the way back, the back of my hand touching the floor, arm is straight. Okay? My left hand, right leg are still up in the air, and I'm pulling hard to keep this leg in towards my belly to help keep the tailbone off the floor. We come up, we switch. Pull back on the toes, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Calf touches the floor first, arm is straight back, hits the floor, come on back up. Take your time with this. You may need to think about it. This exercise messes with a lot of people's left-right brain connections. Just slow it down. Think about what you're doing. Opposite arm, opposite leg. The other two opposites are straight up in the air. This didn't go anywhere. Right? You're trying to keep this connected, so the opposite hip that are up, hip and shoulder up in the air, we're trying to keep them connected through the core, keep that tight. Right? Here we're stretching and working the upper back, mid back, low back. So this is an interesting exercise, and that's the dead bug. Next in the circuit is a bird dog with a tuck and a reach. So square boxy, shoulders over the wrists, hips above the knees. We're going to reach forward, straight forward and back. We're not lifting up, we're just pushing the heel into the wall, reaching the fingers to the other wall. We come back, bring the elbow and knee together, reach back out, everything to the floor, switch. So reach, tuck, reach, switch. Okay, opposite arm and leg, reach, tuck, reach, switch. Opposites again. This is a little bit like the opposite of the dead bug. From the bird dog with a tuck, we're going to move on to the crossbody mountain climber. Setup is important here. Pelvic tilt's going to be key. Shoulders above wrists key. Feet about shoulder width. I'm further forward. I don't want to be way back here. I want to give myself a chance to make this happen. Right knee comes up, touches the left arm. Left to right. Simple, slow. Make the connection. Feel your abs working. Crossbody mountain climber. The ab twister. Palms down, 90 degrees out to the side. You want to keep the shoulders down and keep your tailbone and hips off the floor best as possible. Feet are going to move side to side towards the fingertips. When you feel the shoulders starting to lift, reverse directions. Always keep your feet moving towards your head or your fingertips, not away from your torso. That's how you hurt your back. So by thinking about keeping your tailbone off the floor the whole time, you make the abs work overtime in this exercise, which is what you want. Remember to keep the shoulders down. It's helpful to press. So as I'm lowering to the right, I'm going to press my right hand into the floor to keep my left shoulder down, and vice versa. Bent knees are okay, but keep the tailbone off the floor. That's the ab twister. Side plank with a crunch. This is fun. So, side plank, again, shoulder above the wrist. We don't want to be way back here. That's how we're going to hurt our shoulder, right? So, roll the shoulder into its socket. I like to get into a staggered position for this one. Opposite hand behind the head. I'm going to bring the bottom leg up to touch the top elbow. Right? Like so. And be careful what's happening with the rest of your body. You don't want, of course you got to do both sides. What you don't want is something where you're all kinds of aki. You want to try and keep a relatively tight planked position through this exercise. So there's the side plank with a crunch. Crab walk, another one everybody hates, but you need it. So, crab walk. Hips come up, palms are on the floor, soles of your feet are on the floor, and you're going to move. Take this for time, distance. One tip is make your hands comfortable. I find that if I'm going that way and I point my fingers the opposite direction, right? So if I'm moving backwards, I have my fingers pointed towards my toes, easier on the wrist. If I reverse, I'll point my fingers towards my head and move this way. So find what works for you, but don't let your wrists get in the way. Do your best to keep your hips as high as possible, but that's the crab walk. Low plank. Yoga, they call this chaturanga. This is not a forearm plank, right? This is the bottom position of a push-up. So I'm going to start, and you can come from the ground up. I find it easier to lower into position, personally, but you can come up. You can do these on knees. You can even do these on an elevated surface with your hands up. So shoulders above the wrists, feet are about shoulder width apart, strong pelvic tilt, and then I'm going to lower. I'm going to slide forward on my toes until my upper arms are right alongside my ribs. Head and neck are neutral, strong pelvic tilt, and we're just going to hold this for time. Now if you have to drop to the knees, that's fine. You can hold there, and if you've got a prescribed amount of time you're trying to hold, you could go back to high plank. Now some people find it easier to start this from knees, right? Press into position and then straighten out the legs. That's fine. Key things with any plank: strong pelvic tilt, armpits pulled tight. Low plank is no exception. Tummy tuck. The tummy tuck, again, put your hands in a comfortable position. You're going to put light pressure on your arms. They're slightly bent. Knees are slightly bent, heels are just off the floor. I'm sitting right now on my two sits bones at the bottom of your tush. And what I'm going to do is, using my abs, curl my hips up until my tailbone touches the floor. Then back to the sits bones, and then curl. This is all low belly. I'm not pulling my knees in. No, no, no. I'm not working my thighs. If you feel your thighs going crazy, you're not doing this right. So sits bones, tighten and curl the abs. That curls the hips up. Legs are coming with, they're just resistance. Exhale up, inhale down, and you should feel these right below the belly button, across the top of the hips, somewhere in there, you know, where a surgeon would go in with his knife to give you a tummy tuck. Frog crunch. Frog crunch, we're going to get on our back. Soles of the feet are pressed together. The bottoms of your feet are pressed together. Your knees are held open wide. This is going to force more work into the abs. Hands are supporting my head and neck. From here, we're going to curl tailbone and shoulder blades up off the floor simultaneously. Pause and lower. Keep the knees wide. Squeeze up and lower back slow. Squeeze up, lower back slow. Always fun to put a little extra time into that top contraction. So there's the frog crunch. We have a kick through plank. So high plank position, shoulders above the wrists, feet are about shoulder width, and we're going to come through, reach straight right leg, tip my left hand, and vice versa. I'm trying to keep those limbs nice and straight, armpits pulled tight, still got an active pelvic tilt, low belly's working overtime. So that's the kick through plank. Bicycle crunch. We all know it, we all love it, and if you love it too much, you're doing it wrong. Low, slow, push, pull, squeeze. So the straight leg is straightened by squeezing the thigh and crushing the glute cheek. We're pushing that heel low across the floor into a wall and trying to knock it over. The opposite knee is coming up and across towards the shoulder. So as I straighten my right leg, I'm going to bring my right shoulder up to meet my left knee, and left shoulder to right knee, and so forth, and so on. And nice and slow and agonizing, push that leg. Don't just flop it down. Push like you're trying to knock over a wall. Or if you're actually a bike rider, like you're trying to go up a telephone pole with your mountain bike. It's going to be hard pushes all the way through the pedal to get you up that hill. Bicycle crunch, straight bridge, another one where hand position matters, but make it comfortable for you. I like my fingers forward, I get a great stretch. It's uncomfortable for most people. Fingertips pointed back may be ideal, but for most people somewhere around the sides is good. Whatever works for you. The key is we want the shoulders rolled back and down, so we're getting that nice postural alignment. Legs are straight, so I'm going to roll the shoulders back, push them away from my ears, squeeze my glutes and lift. Shoulders back and down, pressing the palms through the floor. Pelvic tilt, low belly is tight. Last one, the super plank. Again, an incredible favorite of everybody's. Down, down, up, up, left, right, left. So, one cycle starts from the high plank. I'm going to go down on my right elbow, down to my left elbow, back up on my right hand, then on my left. Then I'm going to come down left, down right, up left, up right. That's one rep. Now it's key to notice that I'm taking my arm off the floor, lowering my elbow, and putting it right under my shoulder. I'm not rocking back and forth. You'll see people do this kind of nonsense. No, you're out of plank. So pelvic tilt, right, right, left, left. One. And that's the sequence. Down, down, up, up, left, right, and left. And that is the Code Red core circuit that everybody loved so much last week in the Zoom sessions. And I've used this off and on with other folks. We can assign reps to the exercises or do time. It doesn't really matter. What I do is focus on getting a burn in the belly. You'll notice your heart rate goes up, and that's an awesome byproduct of this. And 2 to 3 circuits through is plenty. Maybe you rest 1 to 2 minutes between each circuit, but 2, maybe 3 circuits, good. If you liked it, if it made your abs burn, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for future updates. I like putting this fun stuff out here for you. And do share with friends, because they're all stuck home too and they need to work on their core. Trainer Steve out.